So you want to build a Shopify app. Maybe you've been watching the channel, listening, learning, and you've decided to go for it. Great, amazing. But then you see that there are over 6,600 active apps on the Shopify App Store. There's a lot of competition. The market is saturated, there's a lot of competition, and it's just not as easy to succeed as it used to be. You're too late, right? These might all be true, but what is also true is that if you continuously chase for the next big opportunity that no one tapped into, for the next big thing, you are bound to fail. If you continue to look for the perfect solution that is guaranteed to succeed, you'll never find it, because that's life. The fact of the matter is, when we launched Reconvert in 2018, we thought, I wish I would have launched sooner, when it was easier to succeed on the platform. So the fact that you are thinking it right now doesn't mean that it's not true. It is true. It is more competitive and more difficult, but you can still succeed. The reason that most apps that actually launch on Shopify don't end up succeeding and end up failing is because they make some rookie mistakes. And that's okay. We're all in our own journey. We have made a lot of rookie mistakes. We just made some right ones, and it ended up evening out well in our favor. But in this video, I am here to help you not make these rookie mistakes that cause Shopify apps to fail. I have collected 4 different Shopify apps mistakes that founders make that actually make their app fail, their business fail, and they just end up not making any revenue or any profit. You will not be surprised to hear that the bottom line is a Shopify app is like any other business, and you need to treat it like any other business. It's not a quick, easy win thing. To succeed, you would need to actually identify your target market, solve a problem, and provide value, and execute well. If you have these 3 things, great, you have something to work with. If you don't, the chances of success are pretty slim. So now let's talk about the 4 mistakes that prevent you from actually succeeding and what you can do instead to improve your chances. The first mistake is choosing red ocean niches. Now, if you don't know what red ocean is the opposite of blue ocean. A blue ocean is basically a clear ocean. Not a whole lot of fishes and shark in there. When you get into a blue ocean, you don't have a lot of competition. It's easier to grow and succeed. When you get into a red ocean, it's a lot more difficult because a lot of big sharks and small fishes are swimming there. So if you're looking for these places where there are already a lot of apps, competition is very high, you will have a harder time succeeding, especially if you're a beginner who's trying it out for the first time and doesn't know yet what it takes to succeed. I think the biggest mistake that I've seen people do in this regard is ask themselves one of 2 questions to decide what product to build. The first one is, what would be easiest to build? When you ask yourself this question, you might get into an answer that is like, a sticky bar for the store or something like that, which that would be pretty easy to build, but then look at the App Store and see how many apps are there with this exact feature. Some of them only with this feature, some of them with this feature, and a lot of other stuff. It's super easy, and because it's super easy, it is saturated, and also it is a very, very, very lean product that you can really charge a lot for. So you are suffering here from 2 things. You can charge a lot because it's so simple, but also it's super saturated and the competition is very high because it is super simple. You don't want to go this route. The second question people ask themselves is, what are the most successful apps on the App Store? Now, this is not a bad question to ask, but let's say you ask yourself that and you reach the conclusion that product reviews apps are some of the most successful in the App Store, which is true because every store needs product reviews, right? But have you seen how many product reviews apps are out there? Because it is such a common problem, a lot of players are trying to solve it, and a lot of them are doing a really good job. There are some stable, long-term existing product reviews apps on the App Store that you will have a very difficult time competing with if all you want to do is product reviews. That's basic. All of the product reviews apps already solve it. Are you doing anything different, or are you just trying to tap into the same customer base because you've seen other products succeed with it? So just because there are some big apps in this niche doesn't mean it's the right one for you. It also doesn't mean that it's not the right one for you. So what should you ask yourself instead to figure it out? There are 4 important questions here. What is a problem that I can solve? Is anyone else solving this problem? If yes, can I do a better job? What additional value do I provide in this niche or for this problem? If you answer these 4 questions and you realize that your answer is, my problem is product reviews and there are dozens of apps that already solve this, and my unique weakness here is nothing, then maybe you shouldn't go that route and find another place where you can solve a unique problem or solve an existing problem in a unique way. The second mistake I see people do is duplicate a competitor. Now, you will notice that I said duplicate, not copy, because copying, let's be honest, is a part of business. And it's not bad. Copying, taking inspiration from competitors, that's fine. We all do it. Everybody does that. Look at Shopify and Amazon. They are copying each other. It's part of the game. The problem starts when you try to completely copy someone else's work without innovating anything. For real success, your product needs to be unique and valuable. And if you copy exactly to the T something that someone else done, then you're not providing any new value and you're not unique.
200,000 units are ready, with 1 million more well on the way.
We have actually seen it a lot. Once Reconvert started to succeed, copycats started popping up like mushrooms after the rain. And you know, some of them went so far into copying us that they used the same language that we do, the same terms. They copied our dashboard one-to-one. And worst part, they even copied not only our pricing, but our exact App Store listing, the description, the images, everything. Did this make us angry? Yes. It did. But were we worried about these apps? Not really. Because what are you bringing to the table that is new? Nothing, you're just copying us. On the contrast, some apps took inspiration from Reconvert and other upselling apps. I'm not under any illusion that we're the only one, unfortunately. But on the other hand, some apps actually took inspiration from upselling apps like Reconvert and built something of their own. They saw the market and what is in the market and tried to think about how they could put their own spin on it. So these apps we were actually a little worried about. You know, it's not about are they better than us or not, because that's up to the customer to decide. But we would look in their App Store listing and in their app and say, okay, yeah, this looks good, you know, this doesn't look bad, and it's not a copycat, it's someone doing a good job solving the same problem that we're trying to solve. This is a respectful competitor.
Finally, a worthy opponent. Our battle will be legendary.
So that doesn't mean if an app exists in the market, you have to not develop anything in this niche. But it does mean that if you want to develop something in this niche, you need to ask yourself, what am I doing different here? How am I unique? Where is my innovation coming into play? Go back to the previous questions that we asked and see if you have anything new here. If you don't, I'm sorry to say it, but you'll just be wasting your time and money developing something that someone else did already, probably better because they have a time advantage on you. The third mistake that Shopify app founders do is ignore their Shopify ads ROI. Since Shopify launched their PPC ads, things have changed in the App Store. That's true. So on the one hand, the smaller stores could now reach keywords that were previously blocked for them. For example, upsell. Upsell is one of the most competitive keywords in the App Store. In the past, you would have to do a lot of work, which would take some time to rank in SEO in the App Store and actually get to first place, second place, first page in the upsell keyword. But now with ads, you can actually just bid on the keyword and be on one of the first 3 positions of this keyword like that. No time needed. And yeah, I do not know how to do this making noise. So on the one hand, that's good. It lets the newer apps, gives them the opportunity to actually play for these more competitive keywords. But on the other hand, Shopify actually puts a minimum bid on keywords, which automatically sets the bid a little higher than it would be in things like Google, where you don't have a minimum bid. And then some of the bigger apps in the App Store that are backed usually by some sort of funding, they actually take it upon themselves to increase the bid even more. Last time I checked, and granted that was a while ago, upsell was a $40 per click keyword. $40 per click. Now I know, ideally with SaaS, a paying customer would pay you so much more than $40 during their lifetime, but it would be super difficult to reach a positive ROI and profit out of these kind of bids, especially when you're first starting out. So as a rule, we do not bid for these keywords. If you look for upsell in the App Store and you happen to see Reconvert in a paid ad, it's because for some reason our low bid that we put in there was captured. Likely not going to happen. You should care more about profitability than getting installs. Let me tell you why. Because maybe in the beginning you have some extra cash and you can put it on getting new installs for the Shopify ads and you think this is going to help you grow faster. But in reality, you might get some installs and then some of them would leave because that's Shopify. Churn is higher because it's so easy to install an app, it's also easy to uninstall it. But this is not going to be ROI positive. You're not going to see a return on investment, and then you're gonna run out of money. And once you do, you will stop these ads. And then what? No new customers. It's like a desert, nothing new coming in, and that's far from ideal, both psychologically and as far as your product goes. You wanna grow the rate of customer acquisition, not go backwards. What should you do instead? First, go for the lower bid keywords. And if you want us to talk about how we strategize our Shopify ads, let us know in the comments. Just write down Shopify ads in the comments and we'll make a video about it, because we do have a very specific strategy. It's very low cost, it's very bootstrap. But then, other than Shopify ads, you can go in other marketing routes for your app. And I have a full video talking about some growth tactics for SaaS products when you're first starting out, when you don't have a lot of money. We'll link it up here. Go ahead and watch that. It'll give you some ideas on how to get started. Mistake number 4 is not offering a free trial. Now, with Shopify, customer acquisition is easier. It just is. Because they can just install you, they don't need to enter their payment method, they just approve payment. They already trust Shopify. No problem, no questions asked, right? Not 100% right, because then it can be tempting for new app developers, for new app founders to skip completely the free trial, because then you get money faster. That's great. But why would they pay you? Likely, whatever you develop, you're not the only one who created it. You have some competition, and they are likely offering some form of free trial. And this customer doesn't know you, doesn't trust you. Why would they pay you? The whole point of the Shopify App Store, how a lot of merchants use it, is they would test a few different apps for the same niche to decide which one they like better. Now, if your app requires them to pay before they even get to see the app and test it out, you've already put yourself out of the game. And that's a shame. Why would you want to do that? So make sure to offer a free trial. The free trial should be something that allows them to actually experience value from the app before they decide they want to stay and pay for it. And from what I've seen, usually it's somewhere between 14 to 30 days that people can actually see some value from your app before they make a decision. So you could do like a 7 days free trial. I personally like the 30 days one, but it really depends on your app and what your app provides. A free trial is also a statement saying, I believe in my app, you can try it out for free, you'll want to stay because it's good. So that's also something to consider. The only caveat, the only reason I wouldn't give a completely free trial is if you have overhead costs. If you're sending SMSs, making phone calls, etc., and you're paying for different APIs that you're using, then yeah, charge for that. But then you can charge for the usage and not like charge ahead the moment they install the app. Hope that was clear. Don't forget, Shopify app is just another SaaS business, and you need to treat it as such to actually find your way to success. Otherwise, you're just hacking your way, trying to find shortcuts that don't necessarily exist. If you want to see some hacks that could work for your growth marketing, again, here's the video I made about it. And if you want to see what YouTube thinks you should, this is it.